Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to this week's Tease Towel. I hope you're having a great day. I am having a hard time getting anything done. I can't pull myself away from the TV. I love the Olympics. I love the Summer Olympics particularly. And yesterday they had the men's gymnastics. Today they had the women's gymnastics. And while I did get some things done, I spent way more time in front of the TV than I normally do. But I'm trying to do things as I watch it. I just love it so much. It's just so exciting, so fun, so happy to cheer on the athletes and all of that. But, not everybody wins. And it's inevitable that for all of us in our life that disappointment touches us. So it's not just for those athletes who didn't do the routine or the swim or the run or the anything that they thought they were going to do, and they didn't get the scores or the medals that they thought they were going to do. It happens to all of us. And so thinking about that, it made me want to talk about this today, because really disappointment arises in so many. It might be our personal relationships. It might be our work life. It might be in ourselves, in our own expectations for ourselves. And that's really the definition of disappointment, is when your expectations don't, or your reality doesn't match up with your expectations. And it can be quite devastating. And that disappointment, that emotional response from that disappointment, it can affect your mood. It can affect your ambition or your desire to go on because of your self-confidence. It can affect your ability to trust your gut, trust your intuition, and it can even affect your physical health. So that gap between what happened and what is reality, and learning how to deal with that, is what is most important in being able to recover from it. Recognizing that it's a natural thing to happen, and your emotional response is a natural response, is very important to help be able to deal with it with some compassion and less self-criticism. It's not the disappointment that defines us, or it's not that event that happened that we're disappointed in that defines us. It's how we recover and move forward that actually shapes our character and and our resilience to it. So let's talk kind of about the pieces of that and how to recover from that. The first thing that you need to do that's very, very crucial is to acknowledge your feelings. When faced with disappointment, that initial step of recovering is to allow yourself to feel those emotions. We tend to suppress or to ignore those feelings, but acknowledging them is very vital and very crucial in helping us to get through this. And if we suppress them or deny them, it really leads to greater stress down the road. So give yourself time to grieve the loss of what you expected to happen and what didn't happen, and then take the steps to move on. So it might be, kind of journaling it out. It might be talking to a friend. It's just whatever you need to do to, in yourself, acknowledge those feelings and release that. It's very cathartic, and it's very helping you to move forward in that process. And it's a very important step to help you to give yourself permission to feel what you feel and to be able to move on. Then you want to try to gain perspective. Often when we're thrown into the throes of disappointment, the situation becomes really skewed. And it's very important to step back and look at the bigger picture and think about not just what can I learn from this experience, but how can this disappointment serve as a stepping stone to help me move forward rather than continuing to have these stumbling blocks. So it's really valuable lessons can come from those. And I've talked about that before. They teach us about our strengths and our weaknesses and where we need to grow. And sometimes our expectations are unrealistic. So we're disappointed because our expectations are unrealistic. So being able to step back and look at that and look at your goals and to reflect on all of the aspects of it can help give us perspective for setting maybe more attainable goals in the future. And then comes reframing your thoughts. Disappointment definitely is going to cloud our thinking with negativity. And reframing and shifting your mindset from focusing on what went wrong to what might go right in the future can be very, very powerful. Instead of saying, I failed at this project, reframe it to say, this project didn't go as planned, but I gained some valuable insights for the future. And this shift can help you to regain a sense of control and a sense of optimism, because when you're, as we said, when you're in the throe of it, it's very hard. And so it's important to remember that disappointment is not the destination. It's just part of the journey. And how can I gain insights from this to help me move forward in the future? It's very important that we set realistic goals and then take action on that. And so by reflecting and reframing, we can then start channeling our action steps in the right direction. So you want to break those down into small attainable steps and celebrate those little steps, because sometimes our expectation was too big or our goal was too big, and it's really breaking it down. Maybe it's just breaking it down into smaller pieces that can help us to get there and help us to build that confidence again and help you to gain momentum, and then celebrating those little things in the process, because the recovery is a process. And so every step forward, no matter how small, is a part of that progress. Another key element in this may be seeking support. You know, it's really important to have your as we often call our soul sisters, or your dear friends, or your people that you can, your family, or people that you can lean on and that you can trust, and or mentors who can help you through those tough times. By sharing those experiences with them and receiving that encouragement, it can be incredibly valuable in helping uplift you again from that hole that you might have fallen into with that disappointment. Sometimes just knowing that somebody believes in you can rekindle that own belief in yourself, because we all know we're our own self-critic, which is the next one, is practicing self-compassion. We are our own worst critic, and when we fall into a situation like that where we're disappointed in, we are our harshest critics, and we have to be kind to ourselves in this recovery. It's very important that we treat ourselves the same way we would treat a friend or someone else in that same situation, because we do tend to beat ourselves up. So remembering that everyone faces disappointment, and that it doesn't diminish your self-worth or your potential is very, very important in that, and it's sometimes one of the hard things to do. So really, disappointment helps build resilience. Resilience is a muscle that strengthens with use. So one of the things that can help you out of that funk that you might be in with a disappointment is to engage in activities that stimulate you, that help your well-being, that help your stress management, that you're passionate about, that you love doing. Those are things that can enhance that capacity to bounce back. So recovering from a disappointment is not about erasing the pain, but it's learning how to navigate through that. That's what's important. We're all going to experience those disappointments, and we all are going to tend to get down in a hole and beat ourselves up. And it's okay to feel that pain. It's okay to not acknowledge that pain, but how do you navigate through that pain? Disappointment can be an opportunity for self-growth, an opportunity, and what we need to do is make sure that we embrace it as part of life's journey, knowing that these setbacks are going to bring you closer to your ultimate goal. And just remember, it's not the setback that defines you. It's your comeback. It's not your setback, it's your comeback. So the disappointment, the failure, whatever it is, doesn't define you. It's how you come back that is really what actually defines you. So thank you guys today for joining me on Tease Towel. Please, I saw a couple people, I don't know who got on, if you watch this on replay, let me know, give me that encouragement. I need that just like anybody else does. And it helps me to get my word out there. So thank you for your support every week. And thank you for your loves and your reactions and your comments. I love it all. It means so much. And I'll see you next week on Tease Towel. Bye-bye.